I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Any declarations of interest? Seeing none. First official item is the approval of the minutes of our meeting of October the 24th. I need someone to move that.
I'm just going to make one quick correction. I was actually at the meeting.
You were at the meeting, so make sure we get him his paycheck.
It's you.
I'll email Andy.
You reimburse the number of meetings you attend.
Seconder? Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. I did have one, but did we get a follow-up, because you wouldn't know? Was there any follow-up from the Aboriginal Coalition? Or, no?
I haven't heard anything from them.
Okay. Are there any delegation requests?
No.
Are there any consent items? No. So the first item, Charlie, is you.
Okay, thank you. We're doing a fairly brief presentation to give you an update on the status of funds A and B. It's basically just a summary of the information that's in the report. That's this 14017, which is included with the agenda. Fund A.
I can't blow that up, Dave.
Are you making it any smaller?
I don't know how we could adjust it.
You got the remote?
Yeah.
I don't know how to use it. Well, that's the remote here. That one there, you can.
This will be starting to look like my TV when you do that. Well,
There you
whatever.
go.
It's only not much.
Resize?
I discussed it.
I think it was a little clearer to me.
Yeah, that's better there.
Yeah. Okay, so Fund A started with $100 million. It's earned $41,470,000 investment income since the beginning of the fund until December 31, 2013. We've had loan repayments of $27,308,000. Sorry, $27,398,000. And interest payments of $16,788,000. That's from the city of Hamilton to repay the loans that were borrowed from the future fund to fund capital. The loan repayments, the first installment of $300,000 was made in 2013, plus interest of $73,000. And then the expenditures from the fund, life to date, there's the transfers to operating in the years 2003 through 2008 of $13,845,000. And loans to date to the city of Hamilton for capital amounts to $84,122,000. Then Pan Am Games funding, we funded $23,870,000 of the approved $45 million. There are some expenditures towards the velodrome, which isn't happening now in Hamilton, but we spent $247,000 on that. And then the purchase of the West Harbor lands, we funded $10 million from the Hamilton Future Fund. And that's a loan to be repaid from the sale or lease of lands at the West Harbor when they do occur. And then there are a couple of other loans, the forgivable loan to the Dr. Bob Camp Hospice and the Good Shepherd loan, amount of $3 million. So the net cash balance remaining is $49,448,000. We We add back the loans receivable for both the city and Good Shepherd. We add back 59 million in loans receivable. We have a total fund asset value of 108,870,000. This slide just details the loans receivable. See all of the annual loans to the city to fund various capital projects. And then the last one is the Good Shepherd loan. That's 2.7 million outstanding. Here we forecast Fund A going forward. The first column it shows activity in 2013, which is included in these numbers are included in the previous slide. And then the forecast going forward from 2014 through to 2023. We forecast the revenues, investment income, the loan repayments, and there's the additional loans yet to be loaned to the city. We're forecasting 2014 about 12,627,000 and 2015 3,252,000, and that will be the total 100 million that was approved to be funded from the future fund loan to the city. And then in 2014, there's a payment due. There'll be a payment due probably around the end of June or in July upon substantial completion of the stadium. And the amount coming from the future fund from that is just over 21 million. And then for the Master Health campus across the street, there's a payment due in 2015, again upon substantial completion, and 9 million of that is to be funded from the future fund. The $1 million is a holdback that's contingent on some other things happening on site at Master Health. So whether that actually occurs in 2016, it might be a few years after that, but be conservative, we're just showing it in 2016. So the fund reaches a low, well, the cash value reached a low in 2015 of 23 million, just over 23 million. And the asset value is at a low in 2015 as well, about 86 million, but then continuously grows back to, well, in 2023, we're forecasting 110 million with repayment of the loans and the investment income adding to the fund. Okay, Fund B started with an initial amount of 37,430,000. It's earned 8,521,000 in investment income. Included in that number is about 180,000 that was earned in 2013. And the total expenditures from the fund to date is 38,481,000. The details of that can be found in Appendix A of the report that's included with the agenda. And that leaves with a cash balance of 470,000 cash balance. We back out the commitments, the amounts or the funding that's been approved but not yet spent yet. So the money's committed, so we back that out. So it leaves us with an uncommitted balance of 3,724,000. This slide just breaks down the actual, or the approved funding and the actual funding from the Fund B. Breaks down by the strategic investment priority groupings. And the right-hand column, the variance, that again is the committed items, amounts approved, but not yet spent or not yet funded. And the last slide lists the actual projects, all the projects that again have approved funding but haven't spent the money as of yet, or all of the money as of yet. And again, breaks down the committed funding a little different by project. And that's in the presentation. Thank you.
Mr. Charlie. So basically, using the last chart as the focus point, we have $3,700,000 give or take of unallocated money. So the object, the exercise, or the purpose of what we're talking about, we're getting the information on today is to decide how to spend some or all of that money. Any questions on any other?
Just on that,
Yeah.
back to one side again. There it is. So it says approved funding,
Right.
and spent to date.
Yeah.
$3.7 million could still be spent.
Could be, but they've actually been allocated to those things, and that, I was going to bring that up actually. We should have a look at that actual list of what they are, because some of them were approved in 202, 202. They're sort of ongoing
When does it
things.
sunset out?
Well, that's a good question.
And, you know, for example, water down the Warren Hall, $600,000, they've spent nothing, is that what they're?
Well, no, that was just approved.
Well, okay, so it's a real project.
It's a real project that was approved last year. It's being, the work is being done on the architectural plans and et cetera, et cetera. So that's going to happen.
They're going to spend that too, aren't they?
Otmar, I'm not sure how far along that is. They have ideas there. That was reallocated from somewhere else.
Yes.
But the Hamilton Ridley Capital Corp thing was a $2.3 million that the future fund set aside in partner, in collaboration with another entity to form this Hamilton Ridley Capital Corp. So far in 10 years, they've spent $500,000.
So that may be something we can take back then.
Well, I think based on, we don't have any firm rules on how that, what the sunset date is for those things. That's something we could talk about and reevaluate. Yeah.
So we really don't necessarily have $3.7 million.
It just happens to be the same amount. No, 3.7 million is unspent. We have another 3.7 million.
Oh,
Yes.
the same number.
Very close, yeah. It's just to be confusing. Charlie, it's your
That makes
correct.
it sorry.
Yeah.
And this
It's the same
slide
amount.
shows both the numbers
Yes,
there. It's the
yeah.
bottom number that we've got uncommitted that we have.
Oh, it's almost the same.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Charlie had the books, not right.
Yes, Mr. Chair, so to that same point though, when we talk about the, where is it, the Realty Capital Corp,
Yep.
that was back in the original time
Yes.
when we started out,
Right.
back in 2002 or whatever it was. I thought that had been disbanded though.
Apparently not. They purchased one asset on 134 Cannon Street East. I think that means $480,000 of our money was spent, and an equivalent amount came from somewhere else to buy this building, and they're thinking about what to do with it. But as I say, to me, it's been there for a long time. They haven't spent very much.
Yeah.
I don't think we're in a position today to say, well, we're going to cancel it, but I think we should get a report on exactly what it is that they're up to.
So that was
What
going to
they're
be my
planning,
point. I'd like to move that motion, if I can get
Sure.
a seconder, to have a report come
Yeah.
back on just the whole status of the Hamilton Realty Capital Corp. And if they don't need that money, and if that's all they've
Sure.
spent to date, I'd really like to know more about, though, the organization. And, you know, from when we approved it initially back in 2002, what is it today? Because I think it's a different animal than it was back then. And like I say, my understanding, I thought that it had been disbanded or somehow it had changed. So, through you, perhaps to clerks.
It's your motion, you have a second?
It's my motion, I had the
Yes,
seconder here, John.
Anybody disagree with that, or have any other comments? I think it makes perfect sense.
Well, we should get it.
I was going to say, we should get them all, other than the ones we just approved. I mean, the one we
Yes.
approved last year.
Yeah.
Which one did we approve last year?
We approved two.
I know, which other ones?
we approved the repair, well,
Yeah,
Akmar was
Akmar was-
transferred, but we could ask about that one too. I would say, other than the last one, we should ask them for an
Because
update.
we have an RFP of privatize our part.
Right.
It's not needing one and not proceeding with it.
I would agree to that.
Chris, yeah.
This sounds like a familiar request. We haven't done this in the past.
I think we had a report on it in some fashion the last, maybe 2 meetings ago. So I think it's time to look at it again from the beginning. I think it is.
I don't think the report went back to like the beginning, what the differences
It's-
today and the
yeah, sure.
actual governance of the
So Caroline, you
organization.
can,
It'll be a direction to staff.
Will we also, will the rules around taking back some of that money, if there are clauses, can that be part of the report too, please? Clauses, if there are contracts?
yeah, we can check to see if there were any specifics, and if there weren't, we can sort of, once we hear about it, we can evaluate what we think they should be.
Just piggybacking on the same idea, just going forward with any new ones that we put out there, maybe they should all include a clause that funding to be, projects to be used by, or money to be used by dates.
I think we actually did that once, and I'm not sure it's sort of, we should be careful about what we ask them for and make sure that we do follow up once we ask for it. I mean, it's not.
It just seems rather than ending up with a project that's 10 years old and that we still have-
Well, it wasn't a specific project. It was a sort of a fund that was created to do a bunch of things. But again, if they haven't done much in 10 years, it's sort of. The other thing is, I think we did have some rules or some reporting that was supposed to be done on the projects as they go along. Some of these things are pretty cryptic. Not that anybody needs any more reading, but I think we should sort of
Yeah, I would agree.
ask for sort of as much detail as we can get on the ones. If they're finished, they're finished. If they're not quite finished, we should get a little more than just saying whatever. And there was a couple, when I read through this, there was a couple that when the projects were finished, they were sort of, the money was sent back or reallocated. I'm not sure exactly what specifically those were. Certainly if the money wasn't needed, it would go back to the fund. A couple of them were transferred somewhere else, which I'm sure was fine. We should probably get a bit more detail. Okay. May I have a motion to receive the report? Seconder, all in favor? Carried. So that's for both reports. So the next thing is that really the main purpose of this meeting is we now have, we advertised and we got a bunch of requests for funding. We have the binders here. So in that regard, we had a process that we used last time to evaluate these things, so I would suggest we do that again. So to do that properly and within the time frame of the city's agenda for this year, including the election in November, the feeling is we should probably have a meeting towards the end of May and another meeting sometime in June, so they can go to the general committee for approval before the election takes place. So I would ask everyone to sort of check calendars. I had a couple of dates that I was going to I was thinking of today's Thursday, so Thursday, May the 29th. That's the dates, and Wednesday, June 18th. Do you have any idea whether that conflicts with?
So the first one was May the 29th?
Yeah, it's a Thursday.
This is my calendar.
Okay.
June 18th
Eight.
is GIC day at 4 p.m.
That won't be good. How about the 19th?
Did you say the 29th is GIC?
No, she said the 18th of June.
Oh, okay, so 29th is good.
29th is good?
29th is good. All right, so I'm sorry,
Not
June.
good? Well, we're gonna have to do the best way, I mean, others checking their, it's the first review of the, whatever, you can send in comments or, May the 29th, and then the next one, so Thursday, June 19th?
19th, in the afternoon would be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
2 to 4.
yeah,
I'm good.
Megan,
That's
that's good. No violent objections to either of those 2 days? Brian, welcome.
Hi, Tom.
So we're gonna hand out the binders. Sorry, did you hear anything, or you just I didn't see you walk in?
No, I just got your Taiwan dates, I guess.
We're talking about dates to follow up on the binders, so to have our first recommendation in about a month, May the 29th, and then the final suggestions on June the 19th. So I guess on May the 29th, we will give our comments, And if we want people to come in and make presentations, we'll ask them to make presentations on that day, or send in whatever it is they want to send in. Make sense?
Okay, so that's the 19th and
What time?
the 29th.
Two, both times two. So that really is that was the main purpose of our meeting today, just to give us an update, to know how much money we have to spend. Not that we have to spend it, we didn't spend it all last year. And just the evaluation process, and that's sort of it. Anybody else got any things they want to talk about? We are all here.
We had a presentation, we probably know the name of that I to clean the harbor, cleaning up creeks and streams that hold those fish tanks. What's the name of that group?
It's called Stewards of Cook's Paradise.
Okay.
Watershed. Ellen Hansel's. Stewards of Cook's Watershed.
And they talk about getting funding from the future fund.
They did.
Are they applications, you know?
This is the first time.
It's the second to the last, number 16.
Oh, so they can in time in a timely fashion.
Okay.
Good.
There.
Oh, bless you and your backers, thank you.
So the evaluation criteria, the application checklist, which is included in the packet. So the little matrix that we created, which is a sort of simple way of grading them, the first blush. And then I guess that's it.
And the June 18th date?
June 19th.
Tell them the 18th.
Oh, special GIC.
That's what we were told.
Get done faster.
Okay. So if there's no other comments, questions about the packages, everyone's done it. Whoever didn't show up will send them a package.
Yes, Lori will arrange to get it to them.
Okay. Any other items to discuss, or we can have a motion to adjourn? Okay, seconded. Thanks a lot. Enjoy your light reading.
This week one's on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Carol, just through you, Carol, we advertised that future funds were taking in applications, right?
Yes, yeah, we did, yeah. Yes.
Put all that on.
And actually, Charlie, I think one of the things that was unnoticed here, that the 7,000 that was spent for advertising, that includes the advertising for applications, I would think.
Actually, I'm not sure where that gets charged to. It didn't.
Doesn't.
But that 7,000 was advertised for board members.
Correct. Okay. So if we're not paying for it, that's good too. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.